Hey folks, Dave Ceruolo, real estate probate and elder law attorney. In this video, we're going to talk about 3 great ways to protect your property. If you're watching YouTube, be sure to hit subscribe as you watch. Stay tuned. So what's the Homestead Act in Massachusetts? Well, folks, the Homestead Act was a law created in the state to protect homeowners in the place that they live and own from unsecured creditors. Now, when you buy a home and you live in the home, automatically in Massachusetts, you receive protection in the first $125,000 worth of equity that you have in your property. Now, what is equity? Well, if you make $1 worth of payment toward the principal of your mortgage, that's $1 of equity that you have in your home. What's an unsecured creditor? Well, an unsecured creditor would be somebody or something like a credit card or someone that might have a civil suit against you, all right? And so when there is a creditor out there that's unsecured, basically what happens is when you have a homestead, they have to sit and wait until you do something with your home. In other words, they can't force you to sell your house to pay them off. Now, when you file a declaration of homestead in Massachusetts, the protection bumps up to $500,000, the first $500,000 of equity that you have in your property. Dave Ceruolo, ceruololaw.com. So what's a nominee trust or a realty trust? Well, folks, a nominee trust is a flexible trust, as I usually say to people when they ask. And with a nominee trust, what's going to happen is the trustee cannot act unless the trustee is directed by the beneficiaries to act. And so with a nominee trust, why do people create these types of trusts? Well, partly for ease of management, if there's a lot of people involved with a piece of real estate. The other part would be confidentiality. So what gets recorded at the Registry of Deeds in Massachusetts is an actual certificate, and the beneficiaries do not need to be listed on that certificate. So there's some confidentiality there. And then the third reason is there's transfers that can happen within the trust that don't need to be recorded at the Registry of Deeds. For instance, if you change some of the terms of the trust or the schedule of beneficiaries. So that's the reason why people use nominee trust. They're flexible tools, as we say. Dave Ceruolo, ceruololaw.com. So what's the basic structure of an LLC? Well, folks, LLC means limited liability company, and this is a hybrid legal entity. On the top of the LLC, you'll have the managers. Those are the folks at the face of the business. They'll be running the day-to-day operation. And then there'll be another level, another tier, if you will, below, which are the investors in the LLC. Now, operating in the background will be what we call an operating agreement. And that operating agreement will say the way the managers are supposed to conduct business every day. And it'll also talk about what their powers are. And it'll also detail who the investors are and what they're entitled to if the LLC should dissolve. Now, the LLC is a hybrid, so it provides a flow-through entity like a partnership for tax purposes, and it also provides a limited liability for the members involved in the LLC, so there's a corporate veil in case there is a lawsuit. The only thing that will be subject to the lawsuit will be the assets of the LLC and not the members' personal assets. Dave Ceruolo, ceruololaw.com.